Hello everyone, I'm here today with a new process video. I'm working on a 4x8 layout for my DC and Baltimore album. As you can see, I'm in DC here. This was when I took the train from Baltimore because I landed at BWI, and I got on the train immediately and went to DC because it's super close on Amtrak. So I did that, and this is the inside of Union Station in DC. It is stunning. Now, I will say, there's a separate part to it that looks nothing like this, like where the food is and stuff. But the main part that was built first looks fantastic, and they just did a restoration recently, so that's why it looks so good. But somehow I want to use this pocket card in conjunction with this. So I either have to find a 4x8 card that I've already printed and cut and whatever, or it came that way, that would fit this, or I have to make my own. But the problem is this covers up so much. I could cut off part of it, but I kind of don't want to because I like the look of this. So this I would have to cut down too, which I'm not thrilled about. So I'm wondering if I should just kind of abandon the idea of a 4x8 card and just make my own background. I think I have like some acetate papers, like transparency type things that maybe I could do here that has like a gold foil or even silver foil. It's kind of both. There's a gray in here. That's why I picked this card. So I could maybe do that, but I'm thinking that might be my best bet. All right, I have pulled out some stuff that I'm considering, and I have to be honest, not totally in love with any of them, but it's what I have. So first I have these 8x8s. One of them is actually an acetate, and it's gold stars, which in theory is a nice idea, but I hate the way that looks. The stars and the circles just don't work. So I know that's a no. These are the other two I had, gray and gold. They have circles. So again, you'd think like maybe it would match. I find that to be hideous. This one isn't as bad. It's not as bad as the gold. But like when I do this, I don't love it. I feel like it's too much of a background. So I think those are both a no. And then I had grabbed this thinking like, oh, maybe I just need something really subtle. It's just a very plain like map, very subtle in the background, but it's on vellum. So of course it's transparent, it's translucent, kind of, you can see through it, or opaque. That's the word I'm going for. But it's too light. It just like fades away in the background. So that's not good either. So I have two other pieces. These are 6x12 of papers. And I tried to go for more of a yellow or a gold look to make this pop, and just to bring it, just to have more color really. And not 100% sold on these, but I like them better than the other choices. This is probably the closest match to what's in here. This is a little darker. I could matte that if I wanted to, or use washi to separate it or something, but this definitely shows up better. Again, I'm not too crazy about this pattern. However, the stripe doesn't really bother me. It feels more subtle for some reason. So when I look at this, I'm thinking I'm going to end up going with this paper. And I don't remember who this is from. It looks like maybe it's an old My Mind's Eye or something. Just looking at the pattern and the type and stuff. What about this side? Oh my God. I almost like that better. Hold on. There's that. Ooh, very plain. I think I actually like this better. Well, that was not on my bingo card. But I think the blue is kind of a bluish gray tone, and the way the gradient works, like, it's not bad. It still shows up against this. And then because the yellow's at the top, I can put this at the bottom and it matches, but they're not on top of each other. Now, granted, I have to cut this down to 8 inches, so I'll be strategic in how I cut it. But yay, I think this is actually going to be the background instead. Okay, so I'm ready to cut this, but this is kind of the tricky part. I have to frame my colors well with what I want. I like it kind of like this. I think this is slightly smaller than 4 inches up there though. So I think I'm going to move it down so I can at least keep a 4x6 piece of paper up top. That way I'm not wasting what's left of this paper, but it still gives me the color that I want. This is what I ended up with as my 4x8. And then I still have a 2-inch strip here that I could use for 2x2 pockets, or along the edge of something, or there are some page protectors that do have a full 2-inch slot like this on the left-hand side. And then I have my 4x6. So I'm happy I have 2 pieces that I can use for other things. To allow myself a little bit more space on here, I'm also going to cut down the card, I've decided. I think I'm actually going to, I mean, I could tuck it as well, but I don't need this down here. So I think I'll cut it or tuck it under there, getting rid of the arrow, but still where it says destination. So I'm gonna get rid of that because I don't really need it. And then up top, I noticed I didn't cut this quite perfectly. There's still a little bit of a white border up top, so I'll get rid of that as well. I've got my mono adhesive on here, so I'm going to just place this where I want it. I think about here, and I decided I am just gonna tuck that under. And I do want some of that blue showing through, but I also want enough space where I can embellish up top if I want to. So I think right about here, I need to get that to that left edge there. And I did leave a little bit up top with no adhesive so that I can tuck underneath there. I think that's good, yeah. Either I miscut this or it's not perfectly aligned. I think I can see a little bit on the side there that it wasn't totally straight. This is always the challenge, getting everything just right. Scooch that over a little bit. Well, I'm gonna have to lift it up. I was trying not to because I don't want to rip the paper. Okay, how's that? Is that better? That looks better to me. It's still just a hair off right here, but I can fix that later. And then this can just go right underneath. And I do know that up top here, I do want to have a rhinestone. So I have those available. I probably will just do a clear one, I think, because of just the different colors. Although I know I have a turquoise in there. I did have some very pale light blue ones in here for a while, and I fear that I may have used all of those. I don't know that I have any left, but I can dig through there and find out. I did look through a bunch of sequins and I did not find any of that really, really pale blue, and I didn't want to look through the whole thing. So I'm just gonna call it good. I'm using a clear one instead. I've already got the glue dot on there. And that will allow me to do maybe some lighter blue embellishments, which I'm sure I have, because in my ephemera packs, I do them by color, and I know I have quite a few things in my blue category. So hopefully I will find something there, but at least now I have a little bit of sparkle and shine on there. I've grabbed out my blue ephemera pieces, and I'm noticing right off like how big a lot of these pieces are. They're gonna be too big to fit either up here or down here. Doesn't mean I don't have something. I'm just gonna really have to dig through there. In terms of color, this piece actually like has a very nice color that I feel would work. This is obviously not the piece I'm going to use though, because it's too big. I don't like what it says, but at least that can kind of be my goal in terms of the color I want. I have found 4 items that I think color-wise and sentiment-wise would work. So I have pulled those out here. One is just very simple, the date. So I could like tuck that behind here at an angle if I wanted. I could even put that one, you know, cut off a little bit and put it at the bottom if I wanted. I don't like it against the blue. Obviously I would prefer it up here. It's rather large though, so it's not the best fit without cutting it down, but I'm willing to consider it. I have this one that just says noteworthy. If I use that, I think I would just do that at the top and call it good. There's so much happening already. I don't think it needs much more than that. I have this little item that again, I could just like tuck under here, overlap, stamp on it if I wanted to, or I could go down here and overlap like that, because the blue could be on the photo, the white can be down here. And then I also have this one that says always on the go. And it's very fitting because I literally just like flew, got on the train, went to the station, dropped my bag in the lounge, went out into the city, came back, hopped on the train again. Like it was constant movement the entire time I was there. So it's certainly fitting. For the top, I chose to go with the piece that said noteworthy, and then I put a little staple in. I got a little too close to the word. I would have liked it up just a tad, but it is what it is. I'm going to leave it. And then I decided I wanted to use this piece as well. I thought I was going to only use one, but I'm going to use both. And all I'm going to do here is write Union Station on the white part, and then I'll just adhere it onto the layout. I have that on there, and I love the way that looks, but I am going to put in a staple just in the upper blue part here. There we go. I think it adds a little bit of visual interest, and then these match, and I really like that. So this is not at all what I thought my background was going to be, but I actually really like it. So here's another one done for DC and Baltimore. Thanks for watching.